Use Ms. Hightower's video commentary to accompany the handout you receive as you complete your TED Talk video response. First of all, remember to include a heading on the paper, and you have your title. On the title line, include the title of your video in quotation marks and your grade aim, A or B. First, 50% of your grade will be towards thoughtfulness. Did you write a thoughtful response? Did you engage the topic of the speaker? So whatever the speaker is talking about, did you join that conversation? Is it clear to me how you feel about the topic? So make sure you focus on avoiding summary. Do not summarize the video, okay? Tell what you are thinking, what you agree with, what you disagree with. Why is this a problem for our world? How should this problem be resolved? You can also add commentary on the speaker if you want to pay attention to the way the speaker organized the speech, their talk, things that you like that they did, that they didn't. You will get 50% will be on thoughtfulness. So do you say something insightful, refreshing? Did you say something new to add to this conversation? That is the main focus. Be sure you've added thoughtfulness. The other 50% of your grade will be on revision. This is difficult. You're going to struggle doing this because there are a lot of things you have to remove, okay? So one of the first things you want to do to prep your paper is you want to remove all be verbs. So step one, go through your paper, find all the be verbs and circle them. If you're on a computer, highlight them or change the font color so that you can see where they are. Be, am, is, are, was, were, being, been. You can use the find, edit, find, and replace if you want, or you can do control, find. I don't know, I'm talking from a Mac, so that you can find these words in your document. That's a technology tip. And you want to revise these sentences. So if a person were to say, I am a student at, let me see, we do, to revise, if we were to say, I am a student at Newsom High School, and the teacher says, well, you want to avoid using am. So then you have to, how can I say that without using a be verb? You would say, I study at Newsom High School, okay? So if you have a sentence, she is my best friend. You're like, oh no, you can't use is. So how could you restate this? So you may have to rewrite the entire sentence because you can't say she has been my best friend. No, because there's been. So I would just restructure the whole phrase, and I would just simply say, I tell her all of my secrets, which indicates, okay, that you all have been close friends for a long time, or you can indicate a detail that makes this person your best friend, okay? So when you are removing be verbs, you have to restructure the whole sentence. If you just try to remove it, and sometimes students will simply try to delete the be verb, she, my best, and I'm like, I'm reading that, I see that it's gone. Or they'll try to use a contraction, which they aren't allowed. So I still see that read, she is. So you have to restructure the whole sentence because you can't use, you have to eliminate the be verbs. The A aim, only 1 to 3 be verbs allowed in your paper. B aim, 4 to 5 are allowed. But you have to restructure. You may have to rewrite the whole sentence. Also, go through your paper to prepare it. You need to eliminate every single one of these words, every single one of them, every single one of them. Remove them from your paper. You cannot have any words that end in ly. Those are adverbs, not one word to end in ly. So go through your whole paper and strike them. So the first thing you're doing on day 1 of revision is striking everything that's not allowed. Strike it. Okay, contractions, no contractions. Of course, we know contractions. If you have don't, You have to write do not. If you have can't in your paper, you have to write can not. Okay? Would have, you have to write would have. So no contractions are allowed in your paper. Also, you need to begin a sentence with after, since, and although, those complex sentences we practiced. Same thing for the aim B. You'll use 2 words from the 100 list, 1 word from the 100 list, 2 semicolons for an A, 1 semicolon for a B, 25-word sentence, a 20-word sentence. And make sure you're using these correctly. Okay, so for the grade aim A, your draft was 250, but your final, the revised paper has to be 300 words. And again, I go over for you what it is that you need to eliminate. When it says you can't use said, if you click here, there's a list of words that you can use for said. So instead of the author said, you can say that, well, the speaker asserted, the speaker clarified. So you would say different words. Adverbs, if you need a reminder on what is an adverb, watch this video. There's a list of adverbs here that you can click on. Adverbs weaken our writing. So if you're writing a paper that's about 300 words, you shouldn't have a lot of adverbs. They just weaken your writing. There's usually a strong verb you can use instead. So here's a list of strong verbs that you can refer to. Remember, no more than 3 be verbs in your paper for an A. You have to rewrite the whole sentence, okay? You may have to remove and rewrite the whole sentence. If you need help while you're working on this, I can help you as you're working on this. So be sure to ask Miss Melendez or me for help. Remember, no contractions. Include word from this list, 100 words every high school graduate should know. They have to be used correctly. And be sure you're paying attention to the required color, okay, so that you can adjust the color. Remember, highlight is not a color. If it says font green, do not change the highlight to green, okay? Make sure you're changing the font to green, not highlight. The only thing you can highlight is if it's yellow, if I say to highlight, okay? And then for the B, you also have to write 300 words for your paper, and you follow accordingly, okay? So you will upload this paper to Canvas. You have today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So the end of class Wednesday, and if the law gives you time, you can do by the end of class Thursday. And you will have these 3 days to work on it. And remember to include your grade aim on the title line. Your paper is color-coded. We're at the end of the quarter, so you don't have time to resubmit. If it's not done correctly, you will receive a 0. Since you are doing so much heavy lifting on this paper, it is going to count as a test grade. So your revisions will count as a test grade. Okay, so be sure you've written the paper for thoughtfulness. I want to make sure that you have not gotten so focused on removing all these words and adding things that you have overlooked the fact that your paper is being graded for thoughtfulness. Okay, so go ahead, and the first thing you want to do today is to begin to strike your paper. Just go through your original draft and begin to remove and strike everything that's not allowed. Mark it, strike it. You can use the strike through tool to help you. All right, go ahead and get started.